Now, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, welcome to the latest edition of Double OT with Mark Dondero. I'm Yianni Caracas. Okay, politics and sports colliding this on the day after the election with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady pretty prominently involved at Trump's rally Monday. Both spoke to it sort of today. Belichick saying that he writes letters to several people and that he's about loyalty and friendship to Trump. He didn't necessarily say he voted for him. Tom Brady didn't confirm that and didn't even confirm that he gave Trump the okay to say that he voted for him. You were there today. What'd you make of how Belichick and Brady handled it?
Well, I think that they should have been a little bit more forthcoming with their beliefs, with their stance, considering the fact that they put themselves out there. Bill Belichick wrote a letter, and as far as we know, gave Donald Trump permission to read the letter. So I don't understand why he wasn't a little bit more forth. He gave the statement. Fine, we know the statement. But why, when you ask the question, are you just saying Seattle? Seattle, Seattle, Seattle. No, we don't want that, because this is a big deal. This was the most historic election in our lifetime. At least that's what everybody was telling me. So I think that they both should have at least acknowledged it a little bit more. Tom Brady, though, said his wife didn't want him to, so that's a little bit of an out.
I think Belichick handled it better than Brady in that he acknowledged that he wrote the letter, and he says he's loyal to friends. I think he kind of dodged it without saying he had to vote for Trump. I would have been fine if he said, I voted for Trump. Listen, half the country voted for Trump. If he's your friend and you voted for him, that's fine. I think Tom Brady, if you're telling Donald you're voting for him, and then he tells everyone, can't you just say, I voted for him? Is he too worried about endorsements? Obviously, it seems like his wife's on the other side of the aisle, and she probably doesn't like that. But I think Tom Brady, it's gone too far down that road that if he just said, I voted for my friend Donald Trump, he'd be just fine. At the end of the day, you're the quarterback of the local football team. No one is not buying your jersey, or maybe they are, if you're voting for Trump. So I think Brady could have handled it a little bit better.
And they have the right to support whomever they want to support.
Everyone's right, yeah.
Tom Brady has been a friend of Donald Trump. All of that is fine. But if he was truly a friend, I'm talking about Bill Belichick now, and it wasn't a political thing at all, this letter, I probably wouldn't have had Donald Trump read it or say that I wrote him a letter. You just write him the letter, and there's your friend connection. But, he said it wasn't political.
And we don't, Bill's probably different with Donald Trump than he is with us, the media. Maybe Bill's like, sure, Donald, you can read it, thinking like, hey, maybe it's cool that this presidential candidate thinks that I'm like,
I think he knew
a linchpin to his New Hampshire.
He's got to know what he's getting into there, and he should have known better about that. He should have fielded questions. I know he had the statement. You got to field some of those questions.
Also, if Brady never puts "Make America Great Again" hat in his locker room a year ago, this probably never goes down this road.
Probably never does.
There's
some pictures of him, but nobody would connect the dots like that.
Yeah.
Putting that in the locker was a statement. Okay, back to football, though. We will talk about the football game. The Seahawks, they're coming to town Sunday night, but let's look back first. Super Bowl X-Licks, that Super Bowl 49, the Patriots beat the Seahawks. What are some of your most vivid memories from that game that night?
Well, I was there, so my memories are just being a nervous wreck during the first three quarters, because we had a post-game show after, but, as a fan watching this, are they going to win another? Are they going to lose? After the third quarter, going down kind of to the bowels of the stadium, because we have to either go onto the field to have a post-game show about the Patriots winning, or if they lose, we go to get them at the podium. So I just remember waiting there, seeing the curse catch, the incredible acrobatic catch, and thinking this is David Tyree all over again. At which point I see Roger Goodell and some of the NFL officials walking by with the Lombardi trophy, and it's just like this weird thing where you're like, there goes the Lombardi trophy, another one the Patriots are losing. And then watching the Malcolm Butler interception, pretty much in shock. I was standing next to JP Smallins and kind of just like batting him on the shoulder like, can't believe it. And then quickly getting into zone of, all right, we have a post-game show. Let's get set for this. And obviously the greatest game I've seen in person, if not the greatest game we've seen in our lifetime.
One of the first memories, obviously I got a lot of good memories, but one of the more fun memories was when I kicked a chair after do you remember the penalty that Kyle Arrington got called for? It was like a face mask.
No.
Right before halftime, Kyle Arrington grabbed the face mask. He made the catch. One of the Seahawks players made the catch. Tack on 15 yards.
Yeah. Well, they went and scored within like a minute.
Right before that. That was a disgrace, and I kicked the chair. I was so angry at how that whole thing played out. And, it was the win, obviously, was just tremendous. And
I think you told me you had no reaction when they won.
I was just numb because of the curse catch. I was so numb, I couldn't believe what I had just seen when Malcolm Butler intercepted that pass. I didn't know what to do.
It was such an emotional roller coaster that it was. You couldn't even. You enjoyed the Butler, but you just couldn't believe it.
You couldn't.
Like, it was joy, but it was just utter disbelief.
I couldn't believe it.
That was something else.
But,
I remember the
shoes
shoes I wore that night are permanently stained with green grass from the grass field on there. So a lot of random, memories like that. Why are my shoes green? Oh, it's from the Super Bowl.
Immediately went to Dick's Sporting Goods, got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
put it on the baby swag as soon as I got home.
All right, let's talk about this Seahawks-Patriots matchup. Coming off that Bills win on Monday, they haven't looked great this year, but they looked pretty good Monday. What do you expect in this rematch?
Well, I think that Seattle is up against a tall order because, first of all, they played the Monday night game. It's a short week, flying across country. Patriots coming off a bye. The Patriots, I think, are a better team. Boy, there's a lot on the side of the Patriots here. Not to mention Seattle can't run the ball. I don't know the last time they eclipsed 100 yards. They had, 33 the other night? They had 53 a couple weeks ago, 7. They're not running the ball well. Now, we've seen the Patriots have that problem. It did look like Russell Wilson has started to heat up a little bit. So you can't dismiss a championship-level quarterback and team like that. But I don't give them a lot of chance, or I don't give them a great chance to come into New England and beat the Patriots in this situation.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit undermanned on the offensive line. Russell Wilson isn't scrambling as much nowadays. He's a little banged up. So I think they become more one-dimensional. Not that the Patriots' pass rush is that great. I think the Patriots are just riding high. I don't think there's any team right now in the NFL, if the Pats are playing well and doing their thing, that can beat them. So I'm picking New England 28-17. You got a score?
I'm going to go 31-21.
All right.
Patriots.
Yeah, I think we both think Patriots. But, I think Seattle can get better over the course of the year, and maybe they see them again in Houston. All right. Talking about Celtics now.
This is my question?
Yeah, a couple tough losses the last couple times.
Not only a couple tough losses, but bad defense, especially on the perimeter. So the question is this defense that they're playing a potential fatal flaw for this team?
I'm not too worried about it. I think right now the Celtics are a little high on themselves. A lot of people were saying they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference. Maybe they're reading their press clippings. And I think their coach, Brad Stevens, called them out the other night. And I think they haven't had Al Horford, and he, even though he's only been here a few games, is now their kind of team leader. So I think they'll pull it together. Avery Bradley's still one of the best defenders in the league.
Marcus Smart.
He missed some games earlier, but I'm not too worried about the Celtics at this point. Are you?
I'm not too worried, but I've started to take their defense for granted a little bit because they've always played, over the last, since KG, you've always just kind of chalked them up as a good defensive team. But you can't just show up with the sneakers on and be good at defense, and so far this year they haven't been. They've been brutal. Dwayne Wade, that game against the Bulls, went off. He's not a big-time three-point shooter. He went off. I know he's been better in his later years at shooting threes. I don't like what I've seen out of their perimeter defense, especially this is where basketball goes now.
Right.
They shoot a lot of threes, so you got to be able to guard out there. I know Avery Bradley and those guys historically have been able to do it. They haven't been able to do it this year so far. And, you don't have Steph Curry, you don't have an elite scorer on that team.
I think they overachieve based on their personnel, so they have to do it with effort. And if they're not doing it with effort, then they're going to come out short.
So
All right, a couple minutes left. Let's roll through these last couple. The Cubs, it's been probably a week since they won, but reactions to that 108-year curse breaker.
From a selfish standpoint, I love it. It was good to see. What made me the happiest was that they had a fight for it.
Yeah.
If it was a breeze, that would have been disappointing to me. But they had a scare. Down 3-1, they come back. Even Game 7, they blow the lead. They have to win in extra innings. Everybody enjoyed the drama associated with it, and I love to see them win.
Yeah, absolutely. 108 years, coming down from 3-1. You and I were talking about our conflicting. We were with Cleveland, we were Chicago, going back and forth. But ultimately that night I was rooting for the Cubs. Happy for Theo, happy for John Lester, and God, the Red Sox going to miss those two.
And we'll see. Maybe Mookie Betts can one day get into this situation, be on the
Mookie Betts a finalist for the MVP, and Rick Porcello finalist for the Cy Young. Either or both win. I'm saying Porcello wins Cy Young, led the league 22 wins. Betts is one of the 3 finalists for MVP, but I think he comes up short. What do you think?
I think Betts wins MVP. Rick Porcello left a very bad taste in my mouth. Sure, you want to give him the Cy Young, go ahead. Very bad
Corey
taste.
Kluber and Justin Verlander. And Betts, who's Betts going against?
Betts is going up against Jose Altuve and Mike Trout, I believe.
Trout.
And they didn't come close to the playoffs. At least the Angels didn't. I forget what the Astros landed. But I am taking Betts as the MVP. And I think Betts, real quick, a little Steph Curry in him. Because not a big guy, but plays big. He puts up home runs. He puts up RBIs. And that's attractive to watch when a littler guy can play like that, dominate a game the way he dominates at his size. I think that helps him in this MVP voting.
All right, we have a minute left because Monaco just walked in.
Okay.
All right,
Is
we're
this
trying to
a
make a
live team?
sports parallel to last night's Trump upset over Hillary. Maybe not an upset in that it was half and half. So if the score was a 1-point win, let's say, in a game, but that no one picked Trump to win. So I was thinking maybe 1980 hockey, USA over Russia.
Wow. I don't know about that.
Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. Maybe Patriots, Giants, Super Bowl. You got one?
Yeah, it's not very applicable to this region, but what reminded me of last night was what last night reminded me of was the 2007 BCS National Championship game, Florida, Ohio State. Everybody was picking 12-0 Ohio State in that game. And then, as the game approached, it was pregame. Florida gained a little momentum. Then Ohio State, Ted Ginn Jr. had the kickoff return to open the game. They take the lead, and then Florida just kept pouring it on, and they went and ran away with it.
But it's so unique because it's not really even an upset. It's someone like, hey, I'm not adhering to what everyone else is doing in this realm, and I'm still going to win my way. So it's like someone coming into a league being like, I don't care how you guys play. I'm going to do it my way.
Well, there is no perfect
No one's going to pick
analogy.
me. Yeah. So it's tough, but I like that. I like that.
That's what it reminded me of. I wasn't talking about Florida at all winning, and then all of a sudden you're saying to yourself, where did Florida? How are they doing this?
Well, Florida was big for Trump
How are
last
they
night.
doing this? That's exactly
All
right.
right, that'll do it for this episode of Double OT. Thanks so much for watching. Catch everything on WPRI.com, and we will see you next time.